More than 2,700 years ago, a bunch of vagrants stick together and they build themselves a village because they need a home and they have no house. They were exiled from their communities, some of them because of their crimes and others because of their relatives who took their possessions. So those men with no tribe started to formate a tribe itself. But soon they realized they have no woman, which means they had no life and no future. But the most cunning one of them came out with this idea. Let's throw a party to celebrate our new village, and let's invite to this party our neighbors with their women. And so they did, and invited to their feast their Sabine neighbors with their daughters and their women. And in the middle of the party, when everybody was drunk, the Romans kidnapped the Sabines women. 10 bloody years followed, death on both sides. It was no winner, but those who lost the most were the women. So they come out forward and says, "Please stop this bloody war. On one side we lose our husbands and our children, and on the other side we lose our fathers and our brothers. Let's make peace, and from now on to be one tribe, one people and one nation." And so Rome begins. But yet it was only a small town like many others in the central Italy area called Latium. Like all these towns, they were subjects to the mighty Etruscan Empire, which forced them to pay tributes and subjugated them. Until one day, when the Romans talked with the other towns from Latium and said, "Let's bond together and form our own alliance against the Etruscans." And the plan worked. The Etruscans were pushed away, and now Rome has become the leader of the Latium. The Latin League was born, but it was yet not an empire. They had kings like all other towns in Italy, but soon the kings became tyrants, so the kings were overthrown and replaced with a republic. The Etruscan state was reduced to rubble by a northern tribe, the Celts. Soon the Celts reached Rome itself, invaded and subjugated Rome. Every year they came to collect gold from the Romans, until one day a brave Roman stood in the middle and said, "From now on, Rome it will defend itself with iron and not with gold." The war broke out, and at the end of it, Rome was master of most of Italy. Celts were defeated, and the mighty bright future was ahead of the Romans. Other tribes and other towns in the Italian peninsula seek the help of the Romans to liberate themselves from their different tyrants, and so all the country was united, for the first time in history. But with the country grow, so did the dream of Alexander. In the hearts of few men, it was born the dream to unite all the civilized world and to extinguish the barbarity. The republic was obsolete, and so was born the empire. Caesar showed the way, but it was his descendants who will fulfill his ideas. The empire went bigger and bigger. The Mediterranean Sea became our sea, Mare Nostrum. Different tribes and different worlds were united. A new nation was forged. And then suddenly something unique happened, something that will split history in two. In a small town in Judea called Bethlehem, a newborn came into the world, and the world changed forever. Soon the old gods of the Romans would be forgotten, and they will be replaced by one real Almighty God. Constantine the Great would be the first emperor who chose to worship the only real emperor. The armies who until then persecuted the Christians from now on They will bear crosses on their shields and on their standards. What other victory could be bigger than this? From now on, Roman emperor after Roman emperor, nobleman after nobleman, bishop after bishop, and peasant after peasant, we leave this worldly empire, hoping to gain the earthly empire and to worship forever the only everlasting emperor. Some say that if you listen carefully, you'll hear their call to join them, to meet them in their real fatherland, in foreverlasting empire. And I'm calling you to follow this channel, to like, subscribe, and comment below. Keep in touch, and I hope we will hear again soon.